This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Books, PD products, science, fashion, and glam talk. From Bollywood to Hollywood, it's Meet and Greet with Dr. Afshan Hashmi, right here on K4HD Radio and Talk4 TV. And here's your host, international speaker, educator, award-winning entrepreneur, and best-selling author, Dr. Afshan Hashmi.
Hello everyone, this is Dr. Afshan Hashmi, live from a studio in Rockville, Maryland. And actually, folks, today I'll be diving into some very interesting hot current topics. But before that, let me remind you that these are my two books. The first one is The Modern Mughal Mentality, New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace. And when this book came, there was a lot of buzz about Jugaad, the Hindi buzzword, which I have conceptualized as thinking outside the box. And the second one is The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection. The first one was Amazon bestseller and also hot #1 new release on Amazon. The second book, The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection, was also Amazon bestseller. And I want a documentary to be made of the modern Mughal mentality, new strategies to succeed in India and the global marketplace. And please, all the documentary producers, please contact me at afshan@drafshanhashmi.com. The second one, The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection, I want a movie to be made. So all those movie producers, please contact me at afshan@drafshanhashmi.com. Having said that, folks, now let me talk about a very, very interesting topic. And it's very sad, that the terrorists are attacking, terrorists are attacking on the hospitals, and I would like to go on a break and will be back soon.
Would you love exposure for your business, product, or service to over 300 million potential listeners? Send an email to info@talk4media.com. And now let's hear from some of our sponsors.
Chapter 2, How Jugaad Leads to Multi-Sector Success Stories in India, including definitions of the Jugaad Management Principle business model, of the book The Modern Mughal Mentality, New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace. Inspiration. True Jugaad is an inspiration on how to create products using technology that meet the price-value equation. According to a Harvard Business Review article featuring expert Prahlad and Mashelkar, most innovation programs are built on the assumptions of affluence and abundance. We see the rich and the young in both the developed and the developing countries demanding environmental friendly products and services. They also believe that affordability and sustainability are crucial to driving successful business today. New technologies and radical business models are important not only to penetrate mass markets in India but in the entire world. By reconfiguring all areas of the business structure, they will pull.
A monstrous infection is spreading worldwide. OMG, is this a simple infection or a deliberate attempt to ruin the human population? Or maybe it's bioterrorism. What is this global infection and who is spreading it? Help us find out. Go to Amazon and search for The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection. The human race needs your help to make this go viral. Go to Amazon.com and read The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection to find out what happens next. Go now! The world is depending on you.
And now, back to Dr. Afshan Hashmi's radio show.
Folks, I read in AP News this, and it says an investigation into a ransomware attack earlier this month on London hospitals by the Russian group Qilin could take weeks to complete. The country's state run National Health Service said Friday as concerns grow over a reported data dump of patient records. Hundreds of operations and appointments are still being cancelled more than 2 weeks after the June 3 attack on NHS provider Synovis, which provides pathology services primarily in southeast London. The attack affected King's College and Guy's and St. Thomas Hospital Trust, which run several South London hospitals, as well as clinics and doctors' practices across south of the city. And now I will go on a break and will be back soon.
Would you love exposure for your business, product, or service to over 300 million potential listeners? Send an email to info@talk4media.com. And now let's hear from some of our sponsors.
A monstrous infection is spreading worldwide. Oh my God, is this a simple infection or a deliberate attempt to ruin the human population? Or maybe it's bioterrorism. What is this global infection and who is spreading it? Help us find out. Go to Amazon and search for The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection. The human race needs your help to make this go viral. Go to Amazon.com and read The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection to find out what happens next. Go now. The world is depending on you.
The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection, Chapter 1, 1964 to 2018, and this is the sample track, and it is read by Dr. Afshan Hashmi. In a sprawling bungalow in Potomac, Maryland, USA, lived Dr. Honey Singh, a board-certified internal medicine and family practice physician, along with his beautiful wife, Baby Singh. Baby Singh was a fashionista and was funding women's causes through her Honey Bay Foundation. She had a ladies' book club by the name of Baby's Glam and Glitzy Club, which had many glam and glitzy ladies who were professionals living in Washington, D.C., Potomac, Maryland, Virginia, and even Beverly Hills, California, as well as elites from all of America meeting at her place on the last Wednesday of every month discussing various aspects of charities they wanted her and Dr. Honey to fund. In this club, there was a wide spectrum of career women. There were doctors, lawyers, actresses, business owners, and models, to name a few. In these book club meetings, members would come prepared after reading a book of a famous woman author, and that author was even invited from any part of the world to give her presentation, followed by a Q&A in this prestigious and elite gathering.
And now, back to Dr. Afshan Hashmi's radio show.
So, folks, this was a London hospital, and hundreds of operations are still being cancelled more than 2 weeks after the June 3 attack on provider Synopsys, which provides pathology services primarily in South East London. I am also a medical technologist specializing in clinical chemistry, and there are so strict protocols here in USA about. These are my thoughts on it. That I mean, how could somebody attack a pathology service until and unless they want the names of the patients and attack, or do other things on that. This is so sad to hear about it, and so I thought I will discuss it in my thing. There are strict protocols, and you cannot even tell anybody what results have come into it. I have worked at rapid response laboratory where you can have to give a result in within 1 hour, and just see what happened here. That people are sick and all, and now I don't know what will happen after these people's security has been breached. I hope these terrorists are caught, and they are punished by the law. So it says NHS London said Friday that it has been made aware that data connected to the attack have been published online. According to the BBC, Qilin shared almost 400 gigabytes of data, including patient names, dates of birth, and descriptions of blood tests on their darknet site and Telegram channel. The National Crime Agency and National Cyber Security Center are working to verify the data included in the public files as quickly as possible. NHS England said in a statement, these files are not simple uploads, and so investigations of this nature are highly complex and can take weeks, if not longer, to complete. I wish the investigation is completed and these terrorists are punished, and that's what I have to say. And let's go to a break, and I will come back with another story. Hello everyone around the globe. This is Dr. Afshan Hashmi, and with J4HD Radio and Talk 4 TV. And dear friends, I am live from Maryland in a country club, and I just wanted to say that please give me sponsorship if you want these shows to go on, because it takes lot of effort and money to produce these kind of shows. Having said that, friends, please give me sponsorship, and cheers and bye bye. So now I would talk about something which caught my attention, and let me do a Google search of that. It just went away. So this is so weird. The Democratic Party is now using TikTok for their campaign, and they were also the House Dems who keep using TikTok while voting against it. It's really weird, like politicians, they say something and they do something, and that's why this country is going towards the disease state. When I go out in Montgomery County, I see so many diseased people. I don't know what is going on. And just see this, a campaign dilemma, the most popular app, and it is from technology. And it says a campaign dilemma, the most popular app among young voters, is growing more politically toxic in Washington. House Democrats who have TikTok accounts and voted for a bill in March that could potentially ban the app face a political dilemma, reaching young voters who are active on the app while staying tough on national security threats from China. Yeah, so there was so much buzz about it in the news that TikTok, the government officials will not use TikTok. Then how come, the Democratic Party, is using, I'm really confused, that Democrat consider how TikTok may fit into the 2024 campaign strategy. A year out from the 2024 election, Democrats are considering TikTok as a strategy to younger Americans. A lot of politicians in the United States do not like TikTok. A lot of their voters do. More than 150 million are on TikTok in the US, and so Democrats are considering how this app and its popularity with young American fits into their campaign strategy. NPR's Elena Moore reports. Elena Moore, when North Carolina Congressman Jeff Jackson goes back to his districts, everyone wants to talk about it. So like, how can they fit into their strategy? This, I just don't understand what they are saying and what they are believing in. Because I was so confused. I have a TikTok account, and I was so confused that whether I should dissolve my TikTok account, or whether I should keep it. And now I read a news that you cannot have, like, they are using it. They voted for against it, and now they want to use it. It's really ridiculous. Please, political minds, don't confuse the voters. Just decide something and then come on the news, or show it in the news how to do it. Having said that, folks, now I would go on a break, and will be back soon.
Would you love exposure for your business, product, or service to over 300 million potential listeners? Send an email to info@talkformedia.com. And now let's hear from some of our sponsors.
Chapter 2: How Jugaad leads to multi-sector success stories in India, including definitions of the Jugaad management principle business model. Of the book The Modern Mughal Mentality: New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace. Inspiration: True Jugaad is an inspiration on how to create products using technology that meet the price-value equation. According to a Harvard Business Review article featuring expert Prahlad and Mashelkar, most innovation programs are built on the assumptions of affluence and abundance. We see the rich and the young in both the developed and the developing countries demanding environmental friendly products and services. They also believe that affordability and sustainability are crucial to driving successful business today. New technologies and radical business models are important not only to penetrate mass markets in India but in the entire world. By reconfiguring all areas of the business structure, they will pull.
A monstrous infection is spreading worldwide. OMG, is this a simple infection or a deliberate attempt to ruin the human population? Or maybe it's bioterrorism. What is this global infection and who is spreading it? Help us find out. Go to Amazon and search for The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection. The human race needs your help to make this go viral. Go to Amazon.com and read The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection to find out what happens next. Go now! The world is depending on you.
And now, back to Dr. Afshan Hashmi's radio show.
So my next hot topic is, which I want to throw some light on it, is what is presidential immunity? My question is, suppose a sitting US president commits murder, then that person has immunity or not? So first, let me dive into a sitting president of the what is meant by presidential immunity. A sitting president of the United States is granted immunity for official acts taken as precedent. It is under legal dispute whether they also enjoy immunity from criminal liability or prosecution. Neither civil nor criminal immunity is explicitly granted in the Constitution or any federal statute. So I was just reading this. So my question is, suppose it's a hypothetical case that suppose a president commits a heinous crime. So will a sitting president, so will he be out, will he go out of the office, or will he stay in the office? I think in presidential immunity this should be taken care, that if the sitting president does, for example, he goes and rapes someone, he goes and orders some theft or anything, then he should be prosecuted. That's what I feel. Now, folks, let me go to a Supreme Court poised to deliver major rulings on presidential immunity. So this is by today's news, and here it is. Supreme Court poised to deliver major rulings on presidential immunity, abortion access. The Supreme Court, nearing the ends of its term, is poised to soon deliver rulings in high profile cases on everything from presidential power to abortion access. That justices will release opinions on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this week. It will mark the first time in at least a decade the justices have done three opinion days in a row. The timing means key decisions, some with enormous consequences for the 2024 campaign, could be handed down just before President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump meet on stage in Atlanta for their first debate. Blockbuster cases are still to be resolved, including whether Trump is immune from criminal prosecution on charges stemming from his efforts to overturn his 2020 election laws, whether hundreds of January 6 rioters were improperly charged with obstruction, and whether a federal law protecting emergency care overrides a state abortion ban. Here is a deeper dive into some of the dozen cases pending before the nation's High Court. Presidential immunity, in what likely the most consequential case before the court this term, the justices will decide whether a former president is shielded from criminal liability for official acts taken while in the White House. In Trump versus United States, Trump is seeking to quash the federal election subversion case brought by special counsel Jack Smith by claiming immunity. Lower courts flatly rejected Trump's argument, but the justices appeared open to the idea of some level immunity for former presidents when they heard arguments in April. Their questioning largely focused on what types of official acts would be protected and which would not. How the justices make the determination will set a new standard for presidential power and will affect whether Trump stands trial for his unprecedented actions in the aftermath of the 2020 election. January 6 obstruction charges. A felony obstruction charge used by federal prosecutors against alleged January 6 rioters is being put to the test in Fisher versus United States. A former Pennsylvania police officer charged for his alleged participation in the US Capitol attack in challenging the government's use of 2002 law enacted to prevent the destruction of evidence in financial crimes. The law includes a sweeping provision for any conduct that otherwise obstructs, influences, or impedes an official proceeding. The Supreme Court appeared divided on whether the government's broad interpretation of the law should stand or be narrowed, with conservatives on the bench questioning the lack of prosecutions under the law for matters unrelated to financial or documentary crimes. The court's decision could open hundreds of January 6 cases, including Trump. Felony obstruction is one of the four charges the former president is facing in his federal election subversion case. Idaho abortion ban and emergency care. So here I'm just talking about the presidential immunity. I'm very concerned, like suppose the presidents they take money for their campaign. Now, once they become president, and suppose there is somebody in China or Pakistan or India, from whom these presidents have taken money, so will they be going will they be supporting immigrants from India, Pakistan, or China when they become president? So isn't it kind of a bribe, because there are so many people in this country, including myself, who doesn't have a job. My husband has dementia and Parkinson. We are in financial crisis. I don't have a sponsorship for this show, which is syndicated worldwide to 300 million listeners. So just think, like how people are suffering in this country. And I want, people to get a sponsorship. Please give me sponsorship. Please buy my these two books. They were Amazon bestsellers because these bring food to the table. Now our presidents, they just go and make policies, or vice president. I'm talking about presidents. They make policies according to the money they have taken, or people who are very influential. I voted for President Trump in and I have been hurt by Muslim community, and they all wanted me to vote for Hillary Clinton, but I did not vote for her. I voted for President Trump. But I am very depressed, that all during the 4 years President Trump, did not come to my rescue to get me a job. I have been working since December 2015, and still I haven't got my money, and I am in financial crisis. So I would request President Trump as well as President Joe Biden to please look into the matter and give me my money, and because I am suffering now. So many people are coming outside the country because they have made some commitments there. So and they are getting jobs, and I have seen that. So having said that, when Supreme Court rules out for presidential immunity, they should look into this matter very, very carefully. And these are some of my thoughts, and and after the break I will give my more thoughts.
Hello everyone, this is Dr. Afshan Hashmi live from a barn country club in Virginia, and I just wanted to say that my K4HD radio and Talk 4 TV show called Meet and Greet with Dr. Afshan Hashmi is syndicated worldwide and has more than 300 million listeners. And if you want these shows to continue, please give a sponsorship, and I request to please give a sponsorship because these shows require a lot of energy and money to produce. So I would request everyone to give me sponsorship, and your product will be promoted in a very reasonable price, and you can contact me at afshan@drafshanhashmi.com. Cheers and bye bye.
So there is another question: can a former president be prosecuted? First, the Constitution states that while the Senate can only remove a president from office and prevent their further election, presidents convicted shall nevertheless be liable and subject to indictment, trial, judgment, and punishment according to law. So I have given my LSAT, and I'm waiting for to hear from law schools if I get admission. So this is a very, very good exercise for me before starting law school. Although I haven't received any admission thing, but I'm very much interested in law. So going back to presidential immunity, that what presidents can do. In 2011, during Obama administration, I had lot of problems. Although I voted for President Obama, and I was very, very happy that first black president is coming, and I was glued to the TV, like, this happened, this happened, this happened. But some things happened during that, and I was directly affected. So, and the Supreme Court judges and the President Biden and President Trump and all the presidents know about it. So while voting for that, I hope, they have conveyed it to to the Supreme Court also, that what had happened, and that should not happen again, to any American citizen. I am bound by NDA, so I cannot talk about it. Having said that, very nasty things are happening in America, and so many tourists, so many people are coming to America. Borders are not sealed, and so many people are coming here, and they become bring a disease, a population to this country. So, and then they spread that, and they are coming from legal as well as illegal routes. So, and this book, The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection, I will read little bit the introduction, of the book. And just imagine, that I wrote in the book that President Trump is the best president ever. And I was beaten up for saying that. And this is so sad that an American citizen was beaten up for saying that. So, President Trump and President Joe Biden, please look into the matter when you debate it on the stage. And I would love to hear from your comments, because I have written to you about both of you, and I would like, to know what your thoughts are on that in the presidential debate. And that is my question, that why American citizens are not having job, why I don't have a job, why I don't have like, I am so qualified. Just look at this. I am PhD, CASCP, and RAC, and I also gave LSAT. So I am so qualified, and I am not having a job, wherever I apply, I don't get a job. So I feel like my career, I came here for American dream, and my career has been tarnished, and I don't know why. Am I not sitting in casting couch with the presidents, I will never sit on a casting couch over my dead body, and so many rumors. Since I have voted for President Trump, so many rumors have gone that I am a prostitute. Well, do I look like a prostitute? I mean, what kind of rumors are that? And like, just because Hillary Clinton did not win, so that's why there are so many rumors about me, and I voted for President Trump. The Muslim community and all my friends left me for that. And then and what President Trump did for me, like, he did not even consider me for a job. So I don't want to be a political target or anything. I'm just a simple woman, and I want a job and a decent living. My husband cannot work because he has Parkinson and dementia, and I feel like I have a very, very strong feeling that Parkinson and dementia is induced due to beatings going on in America. And having said that, folks, now I will end this, and please go and buy these two books and give me an honest review. And I have written the script of The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection. Please, please, producers, please buy this book and see how it is. And Tailflix has given me a very, very good evaluation. So please go and buy these two books and give me an honest review. Having said that, folks, see you next Tuesday at 6 p.m. US Eastern Time in live meet and greet with Dr. Afshan Hashmi. And I would invite the girls and boys, who have young people or old people who have problem, I want to open that platform, and I want to listen their stories, that how they have been treated if they don't have a job or something like that. If they are having anything through this platform, I want to talk to them. And this show is syndicated worldwide to 300 million listeners. So I just want to say, please come on this show, and I will give give you a platform. Having said that, folks, cheers and bye-bye.
You've been listening to Meet and Greet with Dr. Afshan Hashmi on K4HD Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in live right here every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Would you love exposure to your business, product, or service to over 300 million potential listeners? Send an email to info@talk4media.com. And remember, if you miss any part of this show or want to hear it again, find our featured show on iHeartRadio or YouTube, where all past episodes are available on demand 24/7. See you next Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on K4HD and Talk4 TV.